This is Jim Emter, Van Ahn Company, Alexandria, Minnesota, with your closing grain and livestock comments for July 13th, 2018. Well, it wasn't a pleasant day here for the markets. Corn market down 4.5, beans down 15. Chicago wheat a little bit firmer, up 12.5 in Chicago. Minneapolis up 1.25. Kansas City up 10.5. On the week, we had the corn market down 21.5 cents. Soybeans down 60 cents. Chicago wheat down 31.25. Minneapolis wheat down 21.5. Kansas City down 23. Now, one of the bits of good news is the July contracts hitting expiration here. We're going to be switching to the September contract as the lead on the weekly charts, and with the carries in the market, that will uptick the weekly charts here a little bit as we work ahead. Whether we can follow through on any of that is going to be the million-dollar question. But obviously, pressing these markets off of tariff news, good crop developments, and a lack of heat threat in the forecast is really the story behind corn. We've kind of been of the opinion that this 880 mark in soybeans and 360 in corn could be a support base, but this addition of $200 billion worth of tariffs have taken this trade war to the next level and also caused these markets to stumble a bit below those areas. Next price counts are down around 310 and 790 for corn and soybeans. We haven't really been of the opinion here that we could get to those levels, but obviously that's becoming more of a reality as these tariffs kind of kick up and the stakes get much greater here as we work ahead. Basis and carry, we think, are really the focal points here within the market. Basis levels are something going to be to monitor here. If these tariffs drag on, that could be a wild card here in this market. And in regards to carry, some very attractive carries developing in these markets here that provide opportunity to roll out those hedges. So we've got a good base of marketing on. Doesn't do a lot of good for those that need marketing ahead. We do see brighter days, but it's going to be on a resolve of these tariffs. Feeder cattle up 10 cents on Friday. Live cattle down 47.5. Hog market steady to up 135. On the weekly trade, we were feeder cattle down 147.5, live cattle down 182.5, hog market down 142.5. Starting with hogs here, export sales a little bit dismal this week. Some concern over the weights picking up is kind of from our philosophy. We tested all the way down to that 45 level on this December contract, but found our way back to 50 here by the end of the week. So what was a very dynamic week is not going to be for the faint of heart in the weeks ahead, and tariff conversations there are going to be of the utmost importance. Maybe a little optimism for hog is the fact that President-elect Trump is basically sending a team down to Mexico here shortly to visit with the new president-elect down there, and we'll see what develops out of those, but maybe that's what provide a little hope for hogs. Resistance at about $52 off that December hog market. Our support should be in that range of about that 45 here as we work ahead. Look for that range to kind of satisfy the movement, at least for the near term. For the cattle market, bend but don't break too far. We've been pretty persistent. We've seen a feeder cattle market that since May 20th has ran from about this 138 up to 150, and we're stalling out here a little bit. We've got price counts up around 165 for the long term, but it's going to take some time to get there and probably take some good export news. Exports were dismal this week, and cash undertones 108 to 109 live left more to be desired from the cattle arena, and we had very light trade. So we'll pick up the pieces next week. We do see brighter days ahead, but we got a rough road to get through here, and we don't know whether it's going to drag on 3 days, 3 months, or even longer potentially, but we'll kind of watch the details and get more specific here as we can. Right now, we're kind of in this phase here where the tariffs are the main feature, weather's good, and there's little threats, so that allows for this slide. This has been Jim Emter, Van Ahn Company, Alexandria, Minnesota. Trading in futures and options involves risk of loss and is not suitable for all producers. Past performance is not indicative of future results. This is a solicitation. Have a great weekend.